Hey, Mark, if you want to start.
Yes, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. The sun is shining, the snow is melting. We're going to have one more storm to come, and then we can, get the rakes out or something, It'd be kind of nice to do that. First of all, start off right about any new attendees? Yes, who's that?
Yes, I am.
How are you?
Good. I'm Ellie McGarry, and I am currently the coordinator of Companions in Wholeness, which is a program operated out of the United Methodist Church where we feed people every morning, Monday through Thursday.
Oh, right there. Yes.
So I'm the new coordinator there, and we're getting organized, and we continue to feed a lot of people.
Well, that's good.
So I thought I would join here and see what's going on.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, Joe.
Hi, I am Joanne LeMay. I'm the new I work at the Community Health Improvement, and I'm the new Community Self-Management Coordinator, and just happy to be aboard and see what I can do for the community.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi, my name is Phil Crossman. I'm a coordinator at the Community College of Vermont. My office is in Rutland, although we're spread all over the state. So thanks so much for Greg's invitation to come join, and I'm delighted to meet you all.
Welcome, sir.
Hey, Phil.
Hi, Greg.
I can't.
Yes. Anyone else? No one?
I'm not new here, but I have someone with me who is.
Well, introduce.
I'm a familiar face, but I haven't been on here before. Sarah Orvis, coordinated entry at the Homeless Prevention Center.
Well, welcome, dear. Well, hey, there we go. Well, Mayor, since I got you on a keen and a long string, are you there?
I am here.
You're the next.
And ready to roll.
You're ready. Well, you're the next contestant.
I'm the next contestant on The Price is Right. So, great to be with you all today, and it's great to hear Matt Prouty's voice and to hear some new folks joining in as usual for each one of these meetings, and so we are all looking forward to warmer days. Although I'll tell you right now, it is absolutely beautiful out right now, and we're excited about getting this next storm behind us. So just a few things from over my way at City Hall. Big news, of course. It was last week's election. As most of you know, city voters elected 2 new members to the Board of Aldermen. Congratulations go to Anna Taddeo, who is a newcomer to city government, and also, of course, to Chrissy Torrey, who is returning to the Board of Aldermen after a 1-year absence. So I want to wish both of them good luck. I look forward to working with them both and the rest of the Board of Aldermen and continuing to move our city forward. And it is moving forward. As you all know, we also ended up with a recount in the school board race. That recount occurred just this past Sunday. The results of the original election were upheld with a few changes, very minor in the numbers, but the order of finish was upheld. So that recount was supervised by your city clerk, Henry Heck, and conducted by the Board of Civil Authority, which is made up of the Board of Aldermen and the Justices of the Peace. I had the good fortune to witness the last 2 hours of that recount. I will tell you and report to everyone that it was handled professionally by the clerk's office. I have total confidence in the integrity of that process and also the result. So I want to encourage the school board, anyone who knows any one of those members, to move ahead with the business of overseeing and the policies and finances of in the decision-making process for the good of the kids and for the good of the Rutland City School Department and our Rutland City Public Schools. Other minor notes over here at City Hall, we continue to be busy with renegotiating contracts with the two of the unions, both Public Works and the Fire Union. We continue to discuss ARPA funding, $2.2 million worth of projects this year, same $2.2 million worth of projects next year. And finally, the Board of Aldermen will meet coming up on March 21st at their next meeting, which is when they will they will be sworn in, the new members and the returning members and our new members, and they will reorganize that night and elect a Board of Aldermen president for the next year. So that's pretty much it from my vantage point. I want to wish everyone a great day. I want to send along my best wishes, as always, to Project Vision to keep up the good work. And I want to encourage those of you who are in the decision-making process over there, which I would love to be part of and continue to probably am a part of, to consider restarting these meetings in person. I think the time has come. We need to all be back together again. So that's it from my end. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Chief.
All right, thanks, Mark. Well, welcome back, Matt. It was a year went by quickly for us. I hope it did for you too. I can't believe it's been almost a year since you left. But anyway, a couple things just to announce. First, I want to announce an award one of our officers received just recently. The award is called the Team 2 Frank Silfies Award, and the award is given to a law enforcement officer and one mental health clinician every year who exemplifies collaboration in responding to a mental health crisis. And if you don't know, Team 2 is a statewide training curriculum where law enforcement, police dispatchers, and mental health crisis workers train together to strengthen collaboration when responding to a mental health crisis. The program is funded by the Vermont Department of Mental Health and the Vermont Department of Public Safety, and it's implemented by Vermont Care Partners. And this particular award was created in memory of Frank Silfies. He's the former Emergency Services Director at Healthcare and Rehabilitation Services, and was a valuable member of the original Team 2 steering committee. And the award honors Frank's commitment to first responders working collaboratively to find the safest and best outcome for people experiencing a mental health crisis. And this year's recipient is Officer Emilio Rosario. So if you see Emilio, congratulate him. We just received word of that yesterday, and the actual presentation of the award will be done at some point by the Team 2 director, Kristen Chandler. So we'll let you know when that might be. The other thing I want to announce is that if you didn't know, April 30th will be the fourth Real Rutland Feud event going on at the Paramount. It's a benefit for, the proceeds will support the Real Rutland Regional Marketing Initiative. So it's run like the Family Feud, called the Real Rutland Feud. And so the teams that'll be facing off are the Housing Trust of Rutland County versus Neighbor Works of Western Vermont, Rutland City Fire Department versus Rutland City Police Department, Castleton University versus Community College of Vermont, and then the Pines versus the Gymnasium, and then lastly, Rutland County Solid Waste District versus Intrinsic Property Services. Okay, so that's again right now scheduled for April 30th. Tonight is sort of a kickoff event to start to get the word out, and tickets will be on sale, I think, tomorrow. So that should be a good time. Come April 30th, it's Saturday night in April. So looking forward to that. And Crispin, I hope I didn't steal any thunder from you. I see you here, but looking forward to that.
No, you did a great job. It's going to be a great event. As you said, tickets will go on sale tonight for all of the team members, and they'll go on sale for the public on Saturday.
Very good.
Excellent.
Mark it down. All right, thanks, everyone.
Very good.
Appreciate it, what everyone's doing.
Thank you, Chief. And Greg. What did he do? Disappeared. There he is. You got to turn your mic on, you know.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And all you out there who watch me talking to a muted mic, thank you for that as well. Just real quick, because I want to save all this time for the presentations that are coming up, but the Mentor Connector's back at the Vision Center, so thank you. Allie and Nicole that came back, and they're staying a couple days a week here, possibly 3, depending on their schedule. So thank you. We still have room here. Please consider it. I know Turning Point's considering it, so let's see what we can put some pressure on Mike and Tracy and Olive and Tanya to come on over. Other than that, I got nothing new from the Vision Center. And again, Mark, I'm going to save most of our time for the 2 presentations this week.
Okay, and let's get right to it. And that'll be on the homelessness, Cindy, Forster, and Sarah.
Hi, everybody. Y'all
There
know
you
me
are.
anyway. So I appreciate that Greg put my name on the agenda, but I'm going to defer most of this conversation to Sarah because she is the expert. And I go to her most of the time anyway.
Cindy, do you need to share the screen or anything?
We wanted to, if you can, yes.
Yeah, I'll make you a co-host. Hang on.
Thank you. Perfect. While he's doing that, what I'm going to say, in case there's not time at the end, if anyone is interested in more information or in finding out what's happening around homelessness in Rutland County, we do have a monthly meeting that's dedicated specifically to that topic. And that is the Continuum of Care. And if you are at all interested in being invited, I am the current chair. So, you can reach out to me or Greg can get you my email. So with that said, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Share screen.
We want to.
Oh, there we go.
All right, you know how to do this.
No, I
Thunder.
don't.
I'm gonna. Nope. Oh my goodness! See, we're just so good at this.
Slideshow. I do know that.
Well, see, I told you you knew.
Not now. Play from the beginning. Okay, so can everybody see this on their screens?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna condense this a little bit. I went really in depth at our COC meeting last month, and I'm gonna piggyback some more things at our next COC meeting. That's next week. So I'm just gonna go over a couple of things with coordinated entry, the process, and definition of homelessness. I know that was asked of us also. So today, really quickly, I'm gonna go over coordinated entry, why it's important. I'm gonna go over the partnership agreement, quick step-by-step process of what it will look like for someone that's experiencing homelessness that's coming in for services. And I'm going to go over the definition of homelessness category 1. So right now, so you can know what coordinated entry is. So this system is to focus on those being served, minimize time, frustration with accessing help, maximize use of system resources, and identify service gaps for planning. So we all know that clients face barriers and challenges, especially with accessing services and housing. There has been separate referral processes for each agency. There's been different unique assessments at each agency. It's difficult for folks experiencing a housing crisis to know service and housing availability across the system, and for service providers. There was a challenge to evaluate effective utilization to manage achievement. I can't see. Okay, hold on. Now I've done great. Bear with me here. So, sorry. This is what currently, or what it previously looked like before coordinated entry. So this is an example out of Boston. So it's a little bit more messy than it would look like for Rutland.
But only a little bit, honestly.
Right. We don't have as many shelters as Boston has, but this is to show you kind of the chaos for people who are trying to access permanent housing. And then before the coordinated entry process, there was always questions about whether or not they could be accepted into a program. The client had to figure out where to go, who to call, visiting multiple locations. There was inconsistent communication and understanding of what's available for resources. There was lots of different forms and assessments at each project. And we had really weird referral processes between agencies. So now with coordinated entry, we're going to be able to identify what housing and services are best for the households. We're going to help them access help through clear doors and carefully designed protocols. It can be consistent, clear communication to partners and clients about what's available. And we have standard forms now and assessment for every client, no matter where they start. And I'll go over that in a moment. And then we also have a community agreement on where to refer households that are experiencing homelessness. So this is what our system looks like with coordinated entry versus the one that I showed you in Boston. So this is very crisp compared to the chaos I showed you in the previous slide. So somebody comes in with a housing crisis, whether they're unsheltered, at risk of homelessness, they access coordinated entry, and then we work through the processes of diversion, barriers, prioritization, and then to permanent housing. This is what is believed that coordinated entry helps. So improving referral appropriateness and coordination, increase the understanding among us partners and what resources are available with lots of communication. Decrease the time that people experience homelessness, help people move in and out of the homeless system as quickly as possible to achieve housing stability, and support community-wide or system-level planning and outcomes. So right now, there is across the state, so every balance of state, except for Chittenden County, so 11 local continuums of care are operating under the balance of state, and all individuals and households experiencing a housing crisis are accessing coordinated entry. Chittenden County has their own process, which might change in the future. We're working on kind of collaborating with them to see if we can make all one assessment. But I will say that even when county transfers need to be made to Chittenden County, it's been very smooth, even though their system's a little bit different. So right now, the coordinated entry partnership. So the Homeless Prevention Center is the lead agency for coordinated entry. And when you're referring someone to what you think is the Homeless Prevention Center, you're actually referring to coordinated entry. We have assessment partners that conduct a housing assessment. So Brock, New Story, and then SSVF, UVM, specifically for veterans, assist us with completing housing assessments. And then we have quite a few referral partners. I just put a few on here. The Rutland Housing Authority, Troll House, Economic Services, Housing Trust, Turning Point, Rutland Mental Health, the hospital, community health team, Parent Child Center. There's quite a few more. I just didn't have enough room here to list. And then, so we share responsibility across all partners so that anybody that's experiencing homelessness can present to anybody in our community and then can be directed and referred to coordinated entry. So we work really close together to be really responsive and streamline the access to available resources and services. So first step is a referral partner will send a housing crisis referral form as an initial screening tool for services. Referral partners will submit the referral form to the lead agency within 1 business day of meeting with someone in a housing crisis. The referral form, this is just a piece of it, and I can send this out as a link also, or Cindy can, so people can have access to this. This is just what the front of the form looks like, and we'll make sure to send this link here so that it can be sent to everyone. Second step to this is that a lead agency and or assessment partners will administer the housing assessment. All people experiencing homelessness presenting at a lead agency or assessment partner are offered the chance to participate. It's not mandatory. Nobody has to participate. They can still get housing help if they decline to go through coordinated entry. When a lead agency receives a referral form, we reach out to the household within 3 business days. And then we like to close the loop with whoever sent the referral form. So it's helpful that you put on the top of the form where you're sending it from, your name, contact information. And then lead agencies and assessment partners aim to conduct the housing assessment within 1 week of a referral or walk-in. And then after an assessment is completed, we make referrals based on demonstrated client needs. We work on getting vital documents, income, housing history, references, and we start on housing applications. And then if there's availability at the Homeless Prevention Center for case management, that will then happen. But we do like to utilize other service providers who are already working with a specific client to help give them next steps and work on housing applications and getting vital documents so that they have a point of contact. And then for those that are experiencing domestic violence or sexual violence or dating violence, The victim service providers and non-victim service providers work together to ensure equal access to coordinated entry. And we work really closely with New Story to ensure this process is done smoothly for those that, for survivors. And it is, of course, a client choice around where to access coordinated entry and where they want to be served. Just a little piece about this, because it can get a little bit, it's a little bit different for these folks. So if they enter New Story Center as a survivor, they'll complete the assessment with New Story, and then they send us a unique ID and a prioritization score to us, and we manually add them to the master list for Rutland County. And then if they present to a assessment partner, the survivor can decide if they would like to do the housing assessment with New Story. And if they say yes, we'll make sure that they get connected with New Story. And if they decline, then we can complete the assessment either, I said HPC or Brock, but also SSVF, UVM also could complete the assessment. And then to just go over, there was a quick question about homeless status. What does homelessness look like? So this is HUD's definition of category 1, literally homeless. And we really follow this for those that we're putting in service point to put on the master list that are accessing coordinated entry. So literal homelessness. And we can send this link also of the different categories. But we also want to make sure that we're having people that are referred to us, even if they're at risk of homelessness. So if they have an eviction, or if even if they're couch surfing, if they're not eligible for HPC services or coordinated entry, we're still going to make referrals, and we're going to bounce back to you if you've sent us the referral for coordinated entry, and we'll let you know what next steps might look like for somebody that's not eligible right now. And then just to let you know, so for March's COC, we're going to be exploring referrals based on demonstrated client needs. So next steps after an assessment, and bringing in community partners. It's a lot all at once, but I'm going to keep doing this. I'd like to do it monthly and just kind of add things to it, give refreshers on it. And of course, I'll always be at the COC meetings also.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just saying thank you for the presentation. I appreciate that. One of our members, Project Vision members, asked for it. I think it was Jeanette, honestly, and I appreciate her inquiry, and I appreciate her suggestion, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and doing it for us. Any questions for Cindy or Sarah about their presentation?
It'll be nice, like she said earlier, to keep updates on that so we know what's going on, you know, in the community, you know.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, maybe Cindy or Sarah, you could talk a little bit about just like numbers. I know you mentioned like if you guys have availability for case management, and maybe you could just speak a little bit to this group. I think they would be interested in knowing just kind of a brief overview of numbers of families experiencing homelessness, and kind of what it looks like just on the working ground level.
No, thanks, Bianca. I actually wasn't prepared with that data to bring in today. I was just doing the coordinated entry piece and how to access services. That's something that usually Jessica reports at the COC meetings. But Cindy, you can follow up and see what Angus suggests for that. But we do go over those numbers. That does happen periodically. It's very important too. As far as capacity for case management, we do have eligibility for case management for different programs at HPC. And we most certainly can see about doing a presentation on that part too.
Yeah, and the other thing that, you know, I was thinking, as far as data, single moms with children, minor children, you know, or are they single or individualists, or, you know, families with, you know, children, you know?
Mark, I see Rich Gallo and then Chip both have their hand raised. Rich,
Okay.
why don't you go ahead?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure we catch.
Hey, thank you for that opportunity,
Hey.
Greg. Both Sarah and Cindy are a pleasure to work with. These guys provide a very professional service down there. I just wanted to kind of chime in with the rest of you that, great presentation. And Sarah, it's always a pleasure to see you on the screen as well. I have one question as far as Project New Hope. Are they still involved in case management in the local area?
Who is that, Richard? I don't even know what that is.
So there used to be Jennifer and Tiffany that I thought were in this area. Who are the ones that are listed down at the Cortina Inn that are doing case management?
The life intervention team?
Thank you, Sarah. Yep.
Is it that
I
or
had
is
that
it
in-
field
Oh.
services?
Yeah.
Is Kareem on today? Kareem Chapman? He's the one that's overseeing that program, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Very good. Thank you.
There are a couple of folks that work with Brock as well. Oh God, Brianna and I forget. Emily, that are providing case management at the local hotels through a program at Brock.
And we've
Very
been
good, Cindy.
collaborating
Thank you.
together quite a bit actually on next steps with individuals who are in the Cortina, the quality and annex and quality, and just specific right now, we're kind of honing down on those hotels specifically. I actually had a meeting with Demetrius. I don't know if he's on here or not. But it's definitely a work in progress, and that collaboration, it helps when we all work together and we're communicating. It really helps making sure we're not duplicating services. That's a big piece, so that we're not making clients have to tell their stories over and over again. And that's the purpose of coordinated entry.
Thank you,
Chip,
Sarah and Cindy.
Thanks.
Hey, Chip.
That's great. Thanks, Greg. Thank you guys for the presentation. Is it only, can general public make referrals, or is it only from the referral organizations?
We'd like to see it be from community partners. So just having a community member, like let's say, just say a homeowner that sees someone that's homeless, we like them to refer to one of the community partners or directly to the lead agency. They can give the contact information to the individual or family experiencing homelessness, but we're trying to keep it as referral partners because there is a partnership agreement and a way to follow policies when it comes to referring households and individuals.
Additionally, and I'm just thinking, I've received those calls before from folks referring a friend or something like that. We can't have a full conversation with someone without having release, et cetera. So helping that individual make the phone call to refer themselves, or especially once all this pandemic stuff is over, walking them in even to do that referral themselves is huge.
I can add to that too. I think even if you're not working with a referral partner, you can still access coordinated entry.
Mhm.
Is that kind of what you're looking for also? It's not just if you're working with a referral partner. If someone is homeless and they reach out to us, that they'll be screened for services.
Yeah, it was more the, well, a couple different avenues. As a JL, I would like to be able to make sure that the parents of children are accessing the services. And then two, that I see a general person and I would refer I have been referring them to Brock, because then they can kind of get access to the assessment or get the other services that they may need. But I'm just a general public. I don't have a referral organization that other than at this point to direct them for Brock, which sounds like that would be okay. Is that true?
Sorry, Cindy, I'm unmuted. Yes. Right now for coordinated entry, as far as I know, I don't know if there's anybody on here from Brock, and if there is, catch me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that on Mondays and Fridays are when they have someone that can conduct assessments. So if you're looking for something, I again, I'm not trying to take anything from anyone, but if you're looking for something expedited, you can most certainly send it to both of us, and we're going to coordinate together just to make sure we're not duplicating, to see who can get the assessment done quicker.
Emily, Miss McGregor, good. You over there? For Gary? Shake hand raise?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So talking about the Cortina Inn, I'm just wondering if somebody could give me a name or a number of someone so we can find out what services are being offered down there. We have quite a few people that are coming to get breakfast from there. There's actually one of the people living there is taking a bunch of breakfasts back to other people who don't have the means to get to our location. So we're giving them breakfast and lunch and dinners. And I'm just wondering if sometimes we hear stories about, well, this person could use this person could use that. So just wondering who we might be able to get a hold of to find out exactly what services are being offered down there.
Ellie, if you put your email address in the chat section,
Mhm.
and then people can reach out to you.
Okay.
We're running a little short on time and we want to keep the meeting moving, but
Yep, that's
that is a
fine.
big topic. And there's a lot of people here who are, I'm sure, willing to help and have resources to help you. So if
That'd
you
be
can just go to the chat and enter in your email address, then they can contact you directly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. There we go. Greg, do we have, what do we, Jamie?
Community health needs assessment. Jamie Bennett.
Yes, was Jamie there?
I am here. Thank you, Mark.
Hey, nice seeing you.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me speak today. I'm just gonna let everyone know I am not feeling well. So
you under the weather?
Yeah. COVID finally caught up with my family. We thought we were gonna make it, but we did not. So
did you get hit with it?
We did. Yeah, my kids and I are home. But I wanted to make sure that I was here today. I was on the agenda, so I wanted to make sure I was able to share some of this information about the implementation report with you all. So thank you for having me. And like I said, bear with me. Hopefully we can get through this without any problems. But I am going to share my screen. Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes.
This is implementation
report.
Great.
Yeah.
So as most of you know, the Community Health Needs Assessment was published in September, and we're really excited and happy with how that came out. And it identified 4 priority areas within our region, which were childcare and parenting, mental health, housing as healthcare, and supporting the aging community as the priorities for our community to really focus on as a way to improve the needs and health of the residents in the Rutland region. The implementation report is a follow-up report, and it has a lot of information from some of the surveys and community discussions that we held last year. So many of you participated in surveys, came to Project Vision meetings, and we had discussions and even came to separate discussions about these priority areas. And so I want to thank you all, because without your participation and help and support, we wouldn't have a lot of this information. So thank you for participating in that a year ago. So with that, I always forget how to advance on here. Let's see. Is it? There we go. There. Okay. Again, you can bear with me. So some of the key informant highlights. So the key informant surveys and community discussions ask very specific questions about these 4 priority areas and just our community in general. And these are 4 highlights that really came up in all of that information. We saw that food security or insecurity was impacting all 4 of our priority areas. Access to technology had some influence. Of course, workforce retention and recruitment was an issue, and it wouldn't be a community health needs assessment in this day and age without there being some sort of mention of the impact that COVID-19 is having. So those pieces really traveled through the entire document when we look at this implementation report as to how are we going to address some of these issues. And with that, we had some really specific strategy considerations when it comes to addressing our priority areas. And we felt that these 4, along with some of those highlights, were really the most important pieces that our community can focus on when we're looking to start new projects or change policies or address systems that may not be as efficient or effective at improving the health of our community. So health equity is the first one. And really health equity is talking about how do we make it as easy and accessible for all people. And that is something that has to be intentional. And it's a question that we have to ask ourselves whenever we're starting something new. Is this addressing health equity? So we talk a lot about equity within the community health needs assessment, and again in the implementation strategy. And then of course data, gives us a lot of information, and we have gaps in data. We have areas where we might need more information about our community, but we also know that data only is part of the puzzle. We also need to have the stories. We have to have a broader understanding of our community. But data is really important at informing how we move forward and addressing our community. And of course, the multifaceted approach. We know all of our priority areas are unique in their own way, but that most of them interface with each other. We know that homelessness or housing challenges or crises might impact our childcare and parenting needs. It might impact our mental health. And we know that housing may impact our supporting our aging community. So we know that all of these priority areas interact and intersect with each other. So when we can provide or work on strategies that address multiple priority areas, it's going to be better for us if we can do that. And then of course, workforce capacity. And I'm just going to point out with that, it's interesting to me that a year ago, our discussions around workforce capacity were very different than what they are now. Things have even evolved in the last year at how we're addressing and talking about our workforce and the capacity of our workforce. So with that, I also just, to give you an idea of what the report looks like, there is a section for each priority area. And within that section, we give some very specific local data about each priority area. We talk about the gaps that were identified by our community, which I'm going to share with you next. And then we look at these strategy considerations and address them to each priority area and make some suggestions or thoughts on how we might be able to move forward. And then, of course, there's a whole section of specific strategies that we could potentially implement in our community. So with childcare and parenting, our community felt that actual slots or infant childcare slots were really important. And I also just want to point out the fact that it wasn't just slots, it's the idea of quality childcare that was really important. And as you can see, the workforce was brought up, making sure we have enough early childhood educators that are given a livable wage in order to make that a feasible career, as well as third spaces for our older youth and supporting our parents in other ways. And that brings in some of the technology and food insecurity that we saw earlier. Housing is healthcare. The needs identified by our community included a couple things that we have been working on, which is really great to see that even in the last year, some of these pieces have moved forward exponentially, like temporary and permanent housing for people who are experiencing precarious or homelessness situations in our community. And providing wraparound services. And we also know that the housing conversation has changed drastically even since a year ago. For mental health, again, there's some other pieces that are community identified that we are working on already, supporting youth mental health needs in our community. We've seen a lot of discussion and a lot of movement of how do we address some of the mental health needs of the youth in our area. And then, of course, the workforce again was brought up, and as well as broadband and access, so that services and addressing the barriers that people might have to accessing services. And again, that comes with the equity piece as well as the workforce development and the technology. And then lastly, with supporting aging community, again, we see a lot of information about workforce capacity, the need to have more people within our community who are there to help the folks who are home caregivers, but also folks who are hired and work for agencies that provide in-home care. Also specialized clinicians for our aging population, as it is the fastest growing population in our region. We want to make sure we have the services that our aging population needs as that community grows. And of course, affordable care with limited barriers to access. So that is sort of cliff notes to the implementation report of what our community identified as the biggest gaps and needs. And in the report, you will see a list of strategies and ideas that address both health equity, the multifaceted approach, as well as the impact that they could potentially have. And what I find really fantastic is that many of the strategies that are suggested in the report are things that are already in progress, that our community has already identified as a need and has started working on and moving towards. With the implementation report, I just wanted to point out again that the foundational elements for all the strategies were some of those pieces I talked about at the beginning, and that the health equity one really is important, but that it has to be intentional, that we have to really be thinking about how to make our services as easily accessible as possible to the most vulnerable people in our population. Because if we make it easy for the most vulnerable to access, it'll be easier for any other people within our community to access those services. Of course, we need to continue to support potential strategies with funding opportunities and other collaborations and work together as agencies and community members to make these things happen. And I also just want to point out that the community health needs assessment and the implementation report are really a snapshot in time. So we know that much of the information that we gathered during last year for the implementation report, things have continued to move, and we've seen movement in all four of our priority areas, which is really exciting. So just to wrap up, the implementation report is going through its process. It has to be adopted and approved by the hospital board of directors. And so once that happens, the actual report will be made public and be widely available for our community. But I wanted to give you all a sneak peek and preview and just thank you all again for participating in this work last year. And this isn't, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this isn't the last you've heard of this or that you will hear me speaking about it, because our next steps really are to start tracking some of that data and finding data of how are we impacting these priority areas. And my hope is to be able to report back at least once a year to our community at how we're doing, because in 2024, we get to start this process all over again.
Jamie,
yeah.
I just wanted to, first of all, get well.
Thank you.
That's the first thing, you know. Thank you for the information. Any questions for Jamie? We're out there. Is this there? Yes. Have you got your mic on? I don't. See there?
Looking for me?
Ellie, you've been talking, but you're muted.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Was she there? Yeah, good.
Did I miss something?
I know I think someone was talking, but I don't know if she was muted or not.
I am happy to entertain any questions that anyone has. Feel free also to email me and let me know, if you have thoughts. The implementation report, my hope, well, it's scheduled to be, of course, it's on the agenda for the April Board of Directors meeting at the hospital. So my hope is by the end of next month, we'll have it published. And of course, there'll be a formal announcement of when that happens.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to do announcements.
Hey, Mark, real quick.
Yes, sir.
The first announcement from Vermont Adult Learning, Chrissy Torrey emailed me this morning and he has asked to be put on a later agenda, so he will not be making an announcement. So we can move right along to neighborhood engagement.
Neighborhood engagement?
Yep.
Okay.
Elise?
Elise,
Okay, I just have to, whoops. There we go. All right, so just so people know, there is going to be some transition with neighborhood engagement. We were not able to find a chair. So in order to keep things moving, Jen Sanford and I have decided to push it forward by keeping our neighborhood walks going. Welcome bags are still available. We have quite a few that are available in the police department. Anybody that has a new neighbor and would like a welcome bag, please contact me and I'll be happy to make sure that you get a welcome bag. As far as the neighborhood walks, there's going to be a slight shift in the way that we do neighborhood walks. We have the potential of having 3 police officers walking with us, and those are Amelia Rosario, Greg Sheldon, and the chief. But because of their schedule is so uncertain at times, we're going to try to schedule around agencies. So we thought, for example, maybe we could go to Turning Points and ask Turning Points to talk to their staff and to their clients and see who might like to walk in the Turning Points neighborhood. And then we would invite one of the police officers to join us. So the emphasis would shift just a little bit to try to focus on agencies like Turning Points or Dismiss House or Brock or any agency that's in a neighborhood could walk their particular neighborhood. If they're not in a particular neighborhood, they could select a neighborhood that they serve and we could walk that neighborhood. So if anyone is interested in helping to sponsor a neighborhood walk, I would really appreciate it if you'd contact me directly. And I know that we've done News Story a couple of times. We can always do the same neighborhoods over and over again. It's not, we don't certainly complete a neighborhood in one time. So it looks like somebody has a comment. No?
was it? I don't see any. Elise.
So I'll just put my email in the chat, and if people would please contact me, that would be good. Or if they would contact Jen, and Jen, maybe you could put your email in the chat too.
I think it's important too, at least to just say it again, if someone is interested in the co-chairing with Jen, the committee itself, please let myself or Mark Stockton know, or any member of the steering committee, so we can start that process of having you work with Elise and Jen and learn the ropes a little bit.
Okay, all right. Let's see, are you speaking, was it Colleen? And about Easter egg hunt?
I think it's going to be Kim Peters. I think they changed that on us too. So Kim, are you on?
Are you on? Oh, okay.
Kim? Not hearing Kim Peters. I will go grab Officer Rosario if you want to go on to the next announcement, Mark.
Okay, the Walk a Mile County, right? Walk a Mile? Jen? Is Jen out there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Jen, good afternoon.
Hi. Thank you. So I'm really excited to announce that Walk a Mile Rutland County is back. We had to take a few years off because of COVID, a few years off from doing an in-person event because of COVID, but we feel that it's safe to meet up again. So on Saturday, April 23rd at the Vermont State Fairgrounds, I encourage you to come out and join us in your favorite red shoes. For those that aren't aware, this is an event that supports News Story Center. And it brings us together to walk in support and in solidarity of survivors of domestic and sexual violence. It's a fun event that deals with a difficult topic, but we have a lot of fun when we come together for Walk a Mile. We'll have speakers. We have DJ Big Handsome is confirmed to be there, so we'll have lots of great music and lots of fun that way. Food and activities. We are going to be inviting our community partners to be there and set up tables as well. So I'll be sending everything out via the Project Vision listserv so that you all have all the information. That'll probably go out next week.
I think you froze up on us, Jennifer. Did she freeze up on us?
I think she did, Mark.
Yeah.
Encourage you to reach out and ask any questions if you've got them. We also from the family rose. No.
Oh, Jennifer, are you there now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you froze in time.
Okay. So I was just going to finish up with, we will be doing the red shoe photos this year, but it'll be done a little bit differently. We're kind of taking those photos on a road show, and we're happy to come to you at your organization or your business and take a photo of you in your favorite red shoes. We can also supply red shoes if you need them, and I'll send out all of that information on how to do that to the Vision listserv. So we're just really excited to get Walk a Mile going again, and we hope to see as many of you as we possibly can.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, you're all, is he there?
Officer Rosario is tied up and he is unavailable. So I will have to put it out in email. I'll get something from Kim Peters and put it out in email for the kids. This is a kid event for Easter. So once I have that information, I'll put it out through the listserv.
Okay. And well, we're down to the uplifting moment, and I have one, and I feel good about it, that in the last 2 weeks, I have 2 new grandsons, one from each daughter, the oldest and the youngest. So that was awesome, and they didn't really tell each other until their 4th trimester they were both going to have one. So, and they were a week apart, so it was great. We got Henry and Will. That's their names. So that's so, and it was great. So
no Greg's in there?
No, that's
no
next
Chips?
show. No.
Hey, Chip, you got your hand raised.
Yes. Who was it?
That's a mistake. That was supposed to be a reaction of clapping for the congratulations on the babies, the grandchildren.
Thank you. I tell you. It brings joy, I tell you. It really does. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
I think Sherry Proudy's got a good field story too. Matt's back, Matt's safe. That's the good story for Sherry.
Go ahead, Matt.
I think she's already upset with me. Been in the way, messing up the schedule.
That's awesome.
But I'm in the same boat though, Mark. You know, I got the grandkids at the house. It's great, and it's nice to be back.
Nice to see
Project
you again,
Vision
my
could do a lot of good around the world, Mark. I can tell you that.
Yes, amen. Yep. That's right. Yeah. Really, it's just nothing like it. I tell you. It just, you say, oh, everything is down. When you see, grandchildren, this brings that halo, that light. Love it. Love it. Well, I thank everybody. Any other uplifting moments out there? It's gotta be. The sun is shining today. It's gotta be uplifting moments out there. None.
Well, we changed the clock on Saturday. That's kind of uplifting.
What is that, Chief?
Spring ahead on Saturday. Move your clock. More sunshine.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the grandparent thing there.
Mhm.
Congratulations, by the way, Mark.
Thank you.
But for me, my family, they moved almost 2 hours away from me. I could strangle my son for that some days. But I absolutely love when my grandson calls me and says, "Hey, Mari, this is what I want for my birthday." Mind you, his birthday's still a month away, so there's time, but that's one of those things that brings joy.
Yeah, it does. You know, it's funny, you know, to me, it just brings a lot of joy, you know. I'm Papa and the wife is Meme. So it's really great. So
I'm too young for grandkids.
So am I.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mark, anything else?
Hey, you know, I just tell everybody, sun is shining and we can't wait to be in person. We're looking forward to that. That is going to be great.
I think the mayor is right.
You know, and we're trying to see if we can shoot for April.
I agree. We'll talk it over with the steering committee and we'll send out an email for everybody. They'll get it notified on the listserv and with the agenda for next month. Hopefully the next month's agenda won't say see Zoom link below.
And Matt, welcome home again. And we got to get together now and have a little bit of Java.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Waiting a long time for that coffee, Mark.
There you go, sir.
Alrighty, everybody, have a good week. Have a good month. We'll see you soon and don't hesitate to reach out if you all need some support or some kind of collaboration. Thanks.
Have a good afternoon.
See you.